I think most of my preparing would be done in my mind. I'm not a big vision watcher. And even like last year's WBBL, I didn't really watch any of
That's an understatement.
the other games.
Actually avoided it.
Because for a few reasons, because we're in the hub and obviously cricket was everywhere. I sort of wanted to try and step away from that a little bit. And, you know, I also don't want to have something in my mind that's going to happen. And like, as I said, like often it's very different. So, yeah, of course, having played the game for a while now, I know the bowlers and the players. So if there's a new player who comes in who I haven't seen, I will like quick look just to see what they do and then, you know, what sort of variations they might have. But that's really the only time I'll watch some vision. But other than that, I'm sort of formulating ideas in my mind, I guess. So, you know, in the session before we play a team, if they've got, you know, a couple of opening bowlers who swing the ball away, I'll try and do a little bit of practice on that just so I've got, you know, a little bit of practice under my belt with that. But, you know, I think, yeah, I probably think about it more than what I realise. But a lot of it is in my mind with sort of vague idea of how I want it to look. But I never go in and, think this, I'm going to play this shot, I'm going to do this to this bowler. Like, you obviously got an idea, but, you know, I really just want to watch the ball and react as much as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then in terms of training, we've got a lot of over trainers. In that you'll see Elise Perry hitting balls for hours and hours on end. I'll go out, we'll go get a coffee, have lunch, come back, she's still doing and she's not the only one. A lot of the youngsters coming through, whether they're Aussie contracted or not, train a lot, myself included. You're someone that seems to know when to stop, in that, like, you're like, yeah, I've had enough, or no, I'm not hitting today. Like, decisive, you know exactly what you're doing. It's like you have that deep trust in how much you need to do. How do you go about doing that? 'Cause it's so rare.
It's something I've learned, and I definitely wasn't like that all the time. And I will preface this with saying that it's different for everybody. So Elise Perry hits thousands of balls, but that's like her way of getting in the zone. So, I mean, I look at her when she's doing that and I just couldn't think of anything worse, but she loves it. So, and it works for her. So it's so unique. And that's, I think, the biggest challenge for people out there is working out what it is that's going to get them in the best mindset, I think, to make runs. And it's not what the person next to you is doing. There might be elements of it, but it's not everything that they're doing. And that's a big challenge for young players coming in and obviously seeing other people do what they do. And it's great to observe and look at it, but still trying to formulate what works for you is, I think, a really good process to try and go through. I've gotten to the point now where I probably hit a fair bit in pre-season. So I try to get like a lot of my volume hitting done in pre-season. So I feel like I've got that bank behind me. And a lot of it is so that when I do get in season, I don't have to do big amounts. It's actually about staying fresh and being mentally ready for what I want to do. So that's the theory behind it. So, I actually think a lot of it changed in 2017. So at the World Cup, I had a shoulder injury. And I didn't train throughout the whole World Cup pretty much. Like in the nets during the week between games, I wasn't training at all. And I sort of knew that heading into the World Cup that might happen. And I did a little bit of chat with our sports psych, and I guess, and this is not rocket science in any way, but I guess where I got to was that you can either talk yourself into something or you can talk yourself out of something before you even start. So I had to pretty much talk myself into the fact that I was like, no, you've hit thousands and thousands of balls in the last, 10 years, really, 10, 15 years. Missing one training session before a game, does it really make that much of a difference? Like, no, it doesn't. So I sort of had to talk myself into that fact and just get used to the fact that, no, doesn't matter. Like, it actually, the only thing that matters is how I approach the game and play in the game. Whether I fit the day before or not, it actually is irrelevant. So that was a big turning point for me, I think. And since then I've, learned to just, not worry about things that are actually not that important in terms of how much I've hit or anything like that. Just being able to adjust, and I try to, just if I'm hitting balls before a game, or the day before a game, it could be 10 minutes, it could be half an hour. Like, it's just a bit of a feel thing. It's not I have to bat for 30 minutes or an hour or anything like that. And that's something I've developed over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Just knowing that the preparation, not just like in the last few months, it's actually over like a 10-year period, means that you can play. It's actually about your mindset on game day, as opposed to whether you hit the day before or not.
Yeah, you say that so simply, and that it's like, oh, you can talk to it, that's all right. But I can see, and I assume you're probably pretty similar. A lot of the girls are like, no, I need to hit, I need to bowl my ball, I need to tick off all these boxes, otherwise I'm not ready to play. But I suppose the point is, if you can get yourself irrelevant of what it is to headspace where you're ready to go and you're ready to look to score or look to do whatever it is you need to do in the game to win the game for the team, you're good to go.
I was just going to say, like, when I bat the nets, for example, like, if I face the first 5 balls or 10 balls, whatever, and I get out in the first few, it actually annoys me for the whole session, because I'm like, well, if I did that in a game, I actually would be out, and it actually is irrelevant if half an hour later I'm hitting the balls in the middle and like smashing them. Like, I'm sort of a bit like, that wouldn't happen in the game. So that's why, so when I do train, I actually want to do it properly. Because you can't go into a game and not be switched on, because you don't get those chances down the track. So it's sort of a bit like, I could hit for an hour, but I've just sort of wasted it a little bit in the first little bit because I wasn't concentrating. So that's also why I probably don't hit as much, is because I want it to be really good quality and where I'm paying attention, as opposed to just hitting for the sake of it, because otherwise it becomes just a little bit of pointless hitting that you're not getting anything out of.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to continue to be part of the Inside Edge project, hit subscribe or leave a comment below. We're also on all major social media platforms. I look forward to having you along next time.